right, welcome back. That was Street Talk, reactions from Nigerian workers on how they've been coping with the economic situation in the country. It was really sad to listen to some of their comments.
Yeah.
One particular respondent said, it's like we've been living from hand to mouth, and it's been a challenging time for Nigerian workers. And another respondent mentioned something very important. You know, before we went on Street Talk, I did talk about how NLC can push for policies or measures that can help ameliorate, the challenges of Nigerian workers. And one of them said something that even our health insurance scheme, we have that in Delta State, and I'm certain that we have that in other states as well. He did mention that even the health insurance scheme, that when Nigerian workers, when they fall ill and they go to the hospitals, sometimes they are not able to use the health insurance scheme because some of the illnesses that they have, it's much more than what is being contributed for the health insurance scheme, and so they have to pay more money to access medical services.
It's so terrible and quite painful. Sometimes it's just for minute things. I remember back then there was something happened to me that made me go register.
Yeah.
So after that, I wanted to do scaling and polishing my teeth. I was told that it does not cover for that. Something like about 20,000 naira. So I'm like, come on. So you not start asking yourself, and I'm not like I was having a conversation with somebody, an employee of Delta State, and the person was like, sometimes I just feel like tell them stop deducting my money for this scheme, and because sometimes when you go there and you want to do some things that you tag as basic, and they say the scheme does not cover for that. So why are you deducting our monies? It's so sad. And another of the respondents made a striking point. He was talking about those of us that are still in service. They are complaining of how the economy is biting hard on us. How about pensioners?
Retirees,
How are they coping? Because there's no way you will put it. What those persons still in active service are earning is way more than that of pensioners.
Way more than what they earned while they were working.
And even now, what they get monthly, and we are complaining, how much more then? So,
and then even if they worked so hard and they trained their children in schools, their children are graduates now and they're still in this country, are they jobs for their children? And even if their children get the jobs, how much are their children earning to take care of their parents who have retired? So it's just like a circle, right? And the welfare of workers should be the priority of the government. Yes, we want NLC to go to the negotiation table, although we want NLC to have more willpower. We want to see the NLC of, back then when you talk about labor, that labor is labor, right? So we do hope that this time around the NLC will put their foot on the ground and they will negotiate for something that is substantial, something that will help Nigerian workers, because we really need it. And I would also state that I want the federal government, I want the state government to look at other measures that they can come up with to help the lives of Nigerian workers. Housing is a very big challenge for Nigerian workers.
I was going to go there because the state chairman, Delta State chairman, Kwame Goodluck of Obruko, that's one of the things that he usually pushes for. He talks about how much does the average civil servant in Delta State earn? How much does rent in Asaba? How much does it cost in Asaba? So he's saying if these things can be put in place, housing, then transportation. There is recently I came across a video that was talking about how the Azagba of Asaba has a bus that carries people for free within Asaba here. We need more of those initiatives.
What I was talking about. When I was talking about free transportation, that's what I was talking about.
I would have
during the administration of Governor Emmanuel Ewete Oduaha, I was schooling here in Delta State, and I know of buses that were taking Nigerian workers and students from Asaba to Ila. We had free buses then. I got a ride in one of them. Those big buses will take them from Asaba to Ila, back and forth. They had a specific location where they would stay and wait, and a specific time, so people knew when to go there and wait. It was beautiful. Those are the measures we're talking about. Housing estate for workers, so that they can afford a home for themselves. Because I can't imagine working for an entire year, and at the end of the day, what you pay for rent is even, it's a whole lot.
So,
It's not just in Delta State though. In Nigeria in general,
Nigeria in general.
Nigerian workers, we need measures like that.
Like,
so state government and
yes,
federal government.
the government, they have to do better on workers' welfare. I have a friend that works with one of these network providers. They also have a staff boss.
Yeah.
Imagine network providers that pays better, their salary structure is much better than that of public service, but they have a staff boss. So like you stated, there is a time, 7 a.m. the boss will be here. If you're there, it picks you, takes you to work. At the close of work, brings you back. So if you keep to time,
and they have their own health insurance scheme.
yes, of course,
And
now they have their HMO
it's
now.
standard. So the government should really do that, aside from increasing the minimum wage, because my fear with increasing the minimum wage is, let's assume that it's signed into law 500,000 naira. The purchasing power.
No, of course.
Inflation will go up.
And yes, economists.
It is then the market
talked
woman will
about-
know that, oh, they've increased minimum wage to 500,000 naira. I should increase the prices.
But
of
that's
the
where
goods as well.
price control also comes in, because that's one of the parts that even the government of the day they've not done great at all. When price control comes into play, you know that even if minimum wage is increased to 250,000, 300,000, you know that a painter of tomato cannot cost more than this in a certain area. A liter of PMS should not cost more than this. A bag of rice in the north, we can get a certain area. Then when it's transported to the south, it should not exceed this certain amount.
But
because, yes, because,
but price control can only come into effect when the economy is stable. Because now, there was a report yesterday on television, right? There was a report that said traders at the Bogonogo markets are listing the reasons why their prices of goods are increasing. Well, transportation cannot be so high, and then you want to control the prices of their goods. They can't pay for so much when it comes to transporting the goods, and then they come to, let's say, Asaba, and then you begin to tell them that you will not sell a bag of potato or a bag of beans for this amount of money.
So if you listen to me closely, price control cuts across. I talked about a liter of PMS.
Yes.
So if fuel is controlled, and you know that, it's not the one that they'll say there's scarcity, then some persons say they don't have product or something. No, if it's controlled, let's say we hit 800 naira per liter. You know that it's 800 naira per liter. So it means that it also cuts across to those persons that transport goods. If you're for a certain articulated vehicle, if you're transporting from a state to this part, it will be between the ranges of 250,000 to 280,000. So they know that if this person is expensive, it's not going beyond 280,000.
Yeah.
And price control, it's hard work. You do the calculation, you do the math. And you've also talked about the product you're transporting. If it's rice, a bag of rice, if it's transported at certain amount, at maximum 280,000, if the trader sells at this, so price control also tells you that somebody should not make more than, for a certain product, maybe more than 50,000 naira gain. Okay. Have you not seen people that, they'll buy a product for 500 naira, they're selling it for 2,000 naira, some 3,000 naira, times 4 of the price. No, price control should tell you, if you bought a product for 500 naira, at most, maybe you should sell it 800 or 700 naira. That's price control.
This is another issue that NLC should fight for, price control, because we have an agency, or should I call it an organization? It's an agency in Nigeria that is responsible for price control in Nigeria. What are they doing? The NLC should fight for that as well. And we'll leave that, that's for Street Talk, as we'll now move over to our newspaper review and analysis. We have a couple of newspapers for review this